Hi, my name is Debbie, and I'm known as the Flooring Girl. I want to talk to you guys for a minute about a difficult topic, which is investing in your blog when you're in debt or when you don't have much money to spend at all. Believe me, I get it, because when I was starting to monetize my blog, I was in a very, very difficult financial situation. I was, in fact, $238,000 in debt without a means of income, on the verge of losing my home. I was so scared, and I could go on and on about that, but I was very, very careful with my spending at the beginning, and I want to share my line of thinking on that in the hopes that it will help you. You probably heard this a million times, but blogging is a business, and so you need to treat it as a business. And that means you need to invest in it. But because it's a business, you really want to invest in it wisely. Okay, this is your money. But don't think for a second you can't spend any money. It just really won't work, or it will take you a very, very, very long time, which will kind of defeat the purpose. So there are a few things you really need to invest in at the beginning, and I will share with you what I did and mistakes that I made where I should have invested sooner. So I hope that this helps you. So compared to a brick and mortar business, this is nothing. Okay, I spent a lot of money on my old brick and mortar business, paying rent thousands of dollars each month, and paying people, which probably costs even more, paying for samples, and a lot of other things. This is nothing compared to that, so remember to put that in perspective. But I get, if you don't have much money, that this still feels very difficult. But know that you do not want to be penny wise, pound foolish. So first, at the beginning, a few things you do want to spend some money on, a little, not a lot. And I do not recommend spending a lot of money at the beginning with blogging, especially if you're new, don't even know if it will work out or what. But personally, I think that if you work hard enough and in the right areas and you invest in some of your learning, you can make it. It does not get rich quick at all. But the more you invest little by little, the faster you will get to where you need to go. So just remember that principle. At the beginning, you need to pay for hosting. Personally, I would not go with a super cheap place or low grade like Bluehost or GoDaddy. They are, in my opinion, the worst. I would spend a few more dollars a month to get better hosting, not a lot of money. So the two I would recommend are Name Hero and SiteGround. So don't spend $3 a month on hosting. Be willing to spend maybe $4 or $5 a month on hosting. It's not that much money, but it will make a big difference. It will help you in site speed, which will help you get more page views and have better user experience, which will ultimately make you more money. You will get more support, you will have more security, and you won't get nickel and dime for all the other things that you might need, like an SSL certificate. So don't be penny wise, pound foolish here, okay? Now let me tell you something I would not invest in at the beginning, and that is a theme. You do not need a paid theme. And also, while we're at it, do not spend too much time in getting the theme or look of your site. Do not worry about it. Get your blog up and running. It's your content that matters way more than anything else. You can fix and tweak your theme and everything else later when you have more money or when you have more time. But just get going on everything, and it's really, really important. Anyway, for a theme, you do not need to do a paid theme at the beginning. In fact, you may not even need it for a long time, okay? So one thing that I would recommend that you can get free, or at least start out free, is Astra, A-S-T-R-A. I am switching from an expensive paid theme called Divi to Astra, and that will happen real soon. Astra is a much faster theme. I think it's also easier for people to use, and I won't even go into the problems that I and so many other people have had with Divi, but especially it slows your site down. But most importantly, if you're new, you do not need to get a paid theme. You can use one of the ones that is free on WordPress, or better yet, use Astra and start with a paid version. You'll be in much better shape. Do not worry about, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, all that stuff. You can keep doing that as you go along. Just get started. Okay, so don't put the money in there, but you can reinvest it. Now, the next thing is you have to be honest with yourself about what you know and what you don't know. So I was lucky in that when I was in this bad financial situation, I at least knew how to blog and I knew how to do SEO, but most new people don't know how to do that. So I would strongly advise you at the beginning to figure out the major things that you need to learn and be willing to invest in some less expensive books or courses. Not expensive ones. Like do not think that new bloggers should be spending $500 or $1,000 or $1,200 or whatever it is on a course. That to me is very risky. And if you are in debt or a bad situation, it's even riskier and you do not need that stress. I will tell you that I had so much stress at the beginning about money that it impeded my blogging success. And if I could have avoided that, that would have been better. But sometimes it is what it is. You got to just move on. But when you have courses or books that are under $50, that to me is a generally safe and worthwhile investment that you will usually get your ROI back very quickly and in spades. So if you see courses that are $27, $37, $47, something like that, they're usually good investments if that is something that you need to learn. At the beginning, I recommend that people learn Pinterest first because it's usually the easiest one to monetize and to get page views from so you can make money on ads. And the second thing is SEO. And of course, I teach SEO, so I'm very passionate about it. But you can wait until month 1 to do Pinterest. Okay, like start blogging, just get familiar with it, write some stuff because you need content. If you don't have content, nothing else matters. Okay, and then invest in something like that. I personally recommend Pinteresting strategies. Also, precision pinning is another great option as well. Anyway, I would do something like that by month 1. By month 3, I'd be learning SEO, and by month 6, I'd probably be learning email marketing. But at the beginning, just do things in a very steady and gradual pace. At the beginning, don't learn too much because learning too much too fast can actually hurt you, okay? Learn one thing at a time and then master it and then move on to the rest. So month 1, I'd be doing Pinterest. Month 3, I'd be starting SEO, if that helps you, okay? Because those things really get you traffic, which can easily get you money, at least through ad revenue, even if you can't do anything else. And I can go on and on about what courses are helpful and how to monetize your blog, but that's not really the point right now. But be willing to spend some money because here's the mistake that we make. We think, oh, when I start making more money, then I'll have money to invest in this course and I can learn it. But if you don't learn it, you're not going to get the money. So you have this whole chicken and egg situation, especially at the beginning. So I think about how stupid I was on certain things. I knew how to do SEO, but I did not know how to do Pinterest. And I put off that $47 course for probably 4 months. I'm going to guess. It was so stupid, so dumb. So I was afraid to spend anything, and I did whatever I could to learn what I could for free. I signed up for every free course, read every blog post I could on Pinterest. And you know what? I wasted so much time. I learned a little bit, but not a lot. And I kept learning the same thing over and over, and it still did not make sense. I was just spinning my wheels. As soon as I took Pinteresting strategies, it all made sense. And it was different than all the free stuff I was reading. It was so much more in-depth. And right away, I got it, and right away, I was able to implement. So within, I don't know, a few weeks, I got so much more traffic. I mean, I forget how much more, but maybe at least 10,000 page views, pretty quickly. And it might have been more like 20 or 30,000. At this point, I get 200,000 page views a month from Pinterest, but that certainly took me time to build up. So if I think about that and I do the math, so I've got, let's just say, an extra 10,000 page views a month, and I have ads on my site, and let's just for simple math assume the RPM is 10. You can, there are ways to get higher RPM easily, but if I'm in one of the, big 3 media networks, I can get that. So if I do the math on that, 10,000 page views, times 10 RPM, I'm basically making an extra $100 a month, okay? And just think about how stupid I was there. I did not pay $47 for something that made me $100 extra the next month, okay? And I didn't do it the month after, nor the month after, nor the month after. So theoretically, if I was at 10,000, I didn't even grow, I just wasted $400. So if I spent that $47 up front and then I got that $400 right away, obviously it would have more than paid for itself. But the truth is, I'm sure I got more than that. I might have gotten like 10,000 extra page views the first month, and maybe 20,000, then maybe 30,000, 40,000. So basically I gave up $100 on the first month, gave up $200 on the next month, $300 on the next month, $400 on the next month. That's $1,000, okay? And even if I'm off by a half, I gave up $500 for not spending $47. And this is the whole dilemma you have at the beginning. You have to spend a little bit, not a lot, a little bit on some of these things to get ahead. One of the earliest investments I made after that, which I was also really scared to make, was to buy photos. I spent $29 to buy 1 month on deposit photos and get 30 photos. Okay, basically $1 a piece. Totally worthwhile. Felt totally scary to do. You need photos, okay? And we won't even go into how some of the free photos you can get sued for, blah, blah, blah. But good photos make you money, okay? And that is the key. They help your reader. They will help your SEO, and they will definitely help your Pinterest game, because when you're using the same photos that everyone else is, your pins will be like having weights on your legs as you're running, okay? It'll just slow you down. So that was another investment I made, and I was really glad about it. Another one that wasn't that expensive I did was Tailwind, and I actually spent $120 for an annual plan, $10 a month on Tailwind. I did this, right before I thought I was going to file for bankruptcy, so I figured I might as well have something for myself, and I also invested in a $200 course, which I'm glad I did, but thinking through it now, there are much better courses that you can get for much less, but it is what it is. I learned, and I'm glad I spent that money. It was still well worth it. But I figured if I'm going to file bankruptcy, I have to invest a little bit in my learning, and those were the two things, and very well worth it. Tailwind saves me a ton of time. It only costs $10 a month. Okay, back then, I was so strapped for cash, and I have such huge bills that I took on 2 part-time jobs to survive, because I knew it would take a long time for my blog to make money. But I was charging $75 an hour for my freelancing services. So $10 a month versus $75 an hour, okay? No brainer where I should be spending my time. And that's something else. If you can't afford some of this stuff, do something extra so you can get some money. I don't care what it is. If you're babysitting, if you're doing freelancing, VA work, another part-time job, just do something so you can get a little bit of money. This is basically seed money to get you started, okay? Like I said before, don't spend a ton on courses. I would not be doing that at the beginning. Do that later as you're making more money and as you understand where it makes more sense to invest in and where it doesn't. So those are some of the initial things that I did. Now I'm in a very different place, and gradually I've been getting to where I am. I still have debt to pay off. I still have $78,000 to go, so I try to be careful. But now I'm making really good money, and I can invest more. But still, I'm very careful with all of my investments, whether it's Facebook ads or paying my virtual assistants, or now I'm doing promoted pins or investing in courses. I don't spend a lot, but I do spend some, and as I make more money, I reinvest some of it as I need to learn more things. So as an example, I've been finding that promoted pins, which is not something I'd recommend at the beginning at all, but I found that I was able to, for every dollar I'm spending right now, I'm making at least $1 extra. So I spent some money on that, and it worked out, and as it did, I started to scale it up. So I was paying $5 a day to make $10 a day, or $5 net profit on a few different ads. Now that I have some extra money, I'm taking that, I'm reinvesting it in a promoted pin course. so I can learn how to do this better and accelerate it more and do it in some of the areas that I struggled in. That is something I never would have done my first year, and I personally probably would not have done my second year. But now that I'm just starting my fourth year and I'm making good money, I can see the progress. I'm doing that. So at the beginning, invest a little, not too much. I hope you guys that this is helpful and makes sense. The circumstances for everybody will be different. What you need to learn is different. But don't think for a second that you can do all this on your own. Actually, let me take that back. You may be able to, but it will take you so much longer that you are literally throwing away money, just like I did when I told you about me putting off that Pinterest course for 4 months. I threw away money, and I could have used that money. So when these courses can be very helpful, and you get a lot more information than what you can ever find online for free, and you can keep experimenting on your own, which I did, and it will just take you so much longer. But if you need money quicker, be willing to invest a little at the beginning. You might think about putting maybe $50 aside each month or something like that, and do a different thing each month, and you will get there. You will. And there are so many experienced bloggers out there. I'm learning so much from other people and from courses and books that I've read. So, be willing to spend a little bit, but do not go overboard. Okay, I've seen a lot of people go totally overboard, and that to me is the wrong thing as well. But that's just my 2 cents. I guess if you have a lot of money with that, then that's okay. But I would never recommend that anyone goes into debt or major debt from blogging and putting courses on your credit card. Don't do something that you can't pay for, but do understand that these small things that might be $50, you can pay for that. You can do some extra work to get that money. You can cut back on some groceries or something. We're not talking about a lot of money. And believe me, I understand, because 3 years ago, I was afraid to pay for my Starbucks coffee. Like, that's how bad things were. I was afraid I would not have enough money to pay for the gas that was on my credit card. So I do get it. But now looking back, I should have invested a little bit more, a little bit sooner, because I know it would have worked out. And I know you guys may not know that now, because it's hard when you haven't seen how much courses can help you. You're just trigger shy, and I know I was, because I was like, well, what if I spend $47? It doesn't get me anything. Well, if you read the reviews and hear from enough people that it's helping them out, it probably is worth that money. Okay? All right, I'm going to shut up because I'm rambling now, and I'll